Hey!
Get it?
Hey! Look at this hay! All right, cows, I got some fresh hay for you. Come get it. Come on. Come on. Come on in. There you go, Rosie. There you go. Come on. Come on. Get up here. Let's go. Come on, cows. Come on. Come on. Here, cows, come on. Figured they'd come running in here when they saw me put that hay bale down, but just kind of slowly moseying on in here. Turned them loose in the other pasture the other day, and so they've been down there in a different field this week. Here you go, cows, come on. Right here. Here. They think I'm gonna give them cubes. Come on. Oh, it looks like you got in a muddy mess. Looks like you got some shoes on there. You need some rubber boots or something. Hey guys, it's Rhett from the 100 Acre Wood Highlands. We were lucky enough to get some of our own pastures baled this summer. A friend of mine from high school lives on a farm not too far away, and he came out and brought his great big John Deere equipment and was able to bale between 9 and 10 acres of our pastures. So here on our farm, we don't have a dedicated hay field that gets fertilized and sprayed for weeds and the cows stay off of it or anything like that. We just have different pastures that the cows move around to, and we do have fairly good Bermuda grass and some other native grasses. Like here in Oklahoma we have blue stem, and so we're working towards improving some of our pastures to where we'll have even more of that able to be baled in the future. But for this year, we were able to bale close to 9.5 or 10 acres, and we got about 24 bales from it. But is 24 bales enough to get us through the winter? The last few years, we didn't have near as many cows, and it was a lot easier for us to just purchase hay and haul it here 3 or 4 bales at a time as we needed it to get us through the winter. But now that our cows are now that we have a few more cows, we're going to need more hay, and so I was excited to be able to bale some of that hay and not have to pay the high prices of just buying every single round bale I needed. So we have to figure out how much hay do we need to get us through the whole winter. And there is mathematical equations that you can work through to get yourself a pretty good estimate of how much hay you need to last throughout the winter. The problem with those estimates is that they involve some guesswork. So for me, the first difficult thing to determine is how much do my cows weigh each, and multiply that by however many cows we have to get up to a total cow weight. So on our farm right now, we have 9 adult Highlands. We have 1 bull who's about 2 years old. We have 4 heifers that are about 2 years old, and we have 6 calves. Some of those calves won't be staying with us throughout the entire winter. There's a couple that are of weaning age and will be leaving soon, so we won't be feeding them the entire time. So I used some conservative estimates and came up with a total weight of about 16,500 pounds total for our cows. A cow will eat approximately 2% of its body weight a day in forage or hay. There are certain circumstances where the cows can even eat a bigger percentage. So if they're pregnant, if they're lactating and they have calves that are nursing, they can potentially eat 2.5 to maybe 3% of their body weight per day. But let's first start on the low end and say they're going to eat 2% of their body weight each day. So if we take our number, 16,500 pounds, and multiply that by 2%, we get 330 pounds each day is needed to feed our Highland fold. So where are they getting this feed from? There's a few different places. Number one, they're still grazing on this dead pasture land. Whether it's got a lot of nutritional value for them or not, they graze on it. We've also planted several acres in winter wheat, which they have access to, and they graze on it. We feed about 50 pounds a day of protein cattle cubes each day, and that helps supplement, but their primary feed throughout the winter is going to be the round bales that we put out for them. So if we take our 330 pounds per day that they need total, and we multiply it by how long do we need to feed those round bales, I am feeding from December 1st through about the middle of April, which is 136 days. So if we take our 330 pounds times 136 days, we need about 44,880 pounds total of hay. So with that number, we can kind of start to determine what's our total number of hay that we need to either cut from our own pastures or purchase. So a round bale is going to weigh about 1,000 pounds a piece. So if it were just that easy, we could take 44,800 and divide that by 1,000 pounds, and we'd need about 44.8, so call it 45 bales. With a 1,000-pound round bale, though, not all of that 1,000 pounds is dry matter or consumable forage for the cow. Some of it is moisture that gets in there from setting out in the pastures and getting rained on. Our bales are net wrapped, and so that helps shed a little bit of the water. But the top portion of that hay bale is usually gonna get some moisture on it and be no good. Another thing is that we don't feed our hay in round bale feeders. So when the hay is put out for them, you've seen the videos where they tear it up with their horns, they stomp on it, sometimes they're going to go to the bathroom on it. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because I try to feed my hay in areas where I'm trying to get better Bermuda grass seeded, but they're not going to eat all 1,000 pounds of that bale. So we have to estimate how much of that round bale are they actually eating. And I'm just going to use 80% of it. So if we take 44,880 pounds and divide that by 800, or 80% of that 1,000 pound hay bale, we actually need about 56 bales. So for us this winter, I'm going to use somewhere between 45 and 56 bales is what we need. Now, I'm going to subtract some out of that because of the winter wheat. I'm going to subtract some of that out because we are feeding cattle cubes. We were able to bale from our own pasture about 24 bales. So we still need to purchase about another 24 to maybe 30 bales to be able to get through the entire winter. For me, I would rather err on the side of caution and get a little bit more than I think that I need, because we never know what kind of winters we could have. Last year we had that crazy Arctic blast where the ground was covered in snow and there was no getting to that winter wheat, there was no getting to the pasture, and they need that hay available to eat it and keep their body temperatures warm. Also, we had a couple of ice storms where the ground was frozen and covered in ice. They're not eating that either. I would rather err on the side of caution and buy a few more bales than I actually think I need than to purchase less than I think I need and run out. Because what I have found in the past is that if I'm running out, probably other people are running out too, and it can be difficult to find that hay. So the guesswork in calculating how much hay we need is a little bit frustrating because I'm a numbers person in my job, and I like to be able to create an Excel and spit out exactly how much I need without wasting any of it. And I don't want to spend more money on hay than I have to, but I don't have a bathroom scale I can set those hay bales on and just figure out exactly how much each one weigh. And I have to guess what all those cows weigh and how long we're going to need to feed it. But this is how I'm using my method to figure out approximately how much hay do we have to have. And there's a lot of different variables in figuring out how much somebody else on a different farm would have to have. If you got some other suggestions or simple rules of thumb, leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you determine how much hay you're going to need on your farm. We have been doing some projects around here on the farm this past week. Christmas is coming up. I've got a few days off, and so I spent some of that time to clean out the barn. I'm going to give you guys a full barn tour here eventually of what we're setting up. The old hailstorm that went through and destroyed my skylights, I've got up there and completely ripped them down and ordered some new skylights available. And I mentioned recently that I was thinking about buying a squeeze chute. And I talked to some other Highland producers and thought about it more. And I've decided that what I need right now is not a squeeze chute. If anything, I'm going to get a head gate. But before I get that, I want a better corral system. So handling these cows can be dangerous, especially anytime that I'm feeding them or trying to get them loaded onto a trailer. So I have purchased a new corral system that leads into a sweep tub and forces them into an alley. That way it'll be easier to work them and easier to load them onto the trailer. So I've actually gone through and torn down the makeshift pen that I put up, well, let's see what it was, about a year ago whenever I went to go get Emporia. That pen was really just built so that I could keep her segregated when I brought her home as temporary. And now it's been about a year and it's been up this whole time. So it's worked for what I needed for that short amount of time, but I'm ready to get something that's a little bit more professional, a little bit safer way of handling these cows, and that'll be delivered here onto the farm soon, and so I'll be showing you guys that. But if you haven't already subscribed to our channel before, that would really mean a lot to us. I really appreciate all the well wishes on Penny's calf that's been born recently. That really means a lot to me. That was a fun experience, and hopefully we'll be able to have other experiences like that to share with you guys in the future. You can find us on Facebook by searching 100 Acre Wood Highlands. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video.